Hi, YouTube. I just couldn't end the year without getting in at least another dating horror story. I'm racking up the numbers. I don't know how many. I don't know how many dating horror stories that I have shared with you. But I want you to understand the reason why I'm sharing them is because I get commentary from women, well, right now maybe you shouldn't date, because things aren't going so well for you, so don't date right now. Just wait until later when things will be better. And I disagree with that. I think that a lot of black women specifically pull themselves out of the dating market in the concept that time is your friend in dating. And if you wait too long, we as women really aren't interested in a man. You get 60, 70, the last thing on our minds is a man. So I think it's important for us to be in there in the dating process if we have any kind of serious interest in having a relationship at some point. So I'm putting these horror stories out there so that you can see how many men I am going through to get to the one that I finally hook up with. And this story is so funny. I mean, I don't know if I can call it a dating horror story. Let me give you a little background. I am not doing well financially. So any guy who's dating me, he doesn't get the benefit of being able to go Dutch because I don't have it. So, we just don't do it, that kind of thing. And today, a lot of guys are accustomed to black women actually making more money than them. So, counterintuitively inside, they're like, if I was with another black woman, she'd be paying for everything. But with her, I'm paying for everything. So, I think that is a stressor. Let me know. Comment below if you think that's a stressor. And I'm not insulted by that. You date somebody who doesn't have a whole lot. It's different from dating somebody who has a whole lot. So I understand that. And I think that weighed in on this guy a little bit. I met him when I was just hanging out in the neighborhood. We got to know each other. And at first he said a few things that I didn't think I would be interested in dating him. He said that women were too expensive, that he was 50 years old, and that he'd never been married because he had a good job and he didn't want some woman to take his benefits and take his money because she had children with him. And he's never had any children. Well, a holistic girl like myself, I'm all about people having children and having families, and family is so important and all that kind of stuff. So for somebody to say that a woman who is the mother of their children is not worth, I'm like, I don't know. He and I are definitely on a different page. And I'm like, why is he interested in my broke behind if all of this is going on? So that was my first clue when I first met him. And when we first met, since I was hanging out, he did take me to lunch. And we went to a place I like. You guys like Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles? Oh, yeah. It was good, too. Yes, I had myself some chicken and waffles and a salad. Anyway, back to the story at hand. So I didn't really stay in contact with him, but he started just coming over to the house and leaving little notes and leaving messages and stuff like that. And finally he kind of wore me down, and I'm like, well, he sees my situation, he's still going for it, maybe he's learned from his ways. Another thing he told me was that every time he would get close to marrying somebody, he would break up with them, and he'd do the back and forth breakups. I hate that kind of stuff. I absolutely hate people who do that because I think it emphasizes that he doesn't have a value for women. So since he doesn't really have a value for women, he's trying to stall the relationship and keep it in the same place because he doesn't want to go for the commitment and the family and all that because internally he just doesn't value it. So he's wasting our time. And he said that his one ex died on him And he says he wishes now that he had married her. Oh, I was hot. I don't know why I even dated this guy. I mean, but he wore me down and we started hanging out. We didn't date. He never took me out on another date after that first Rocks Coast experience. He would bring me stuff over, because I guess he figures I'm broke. He would he would take me to the grocery store, buy me groceries, or bring me over something to eat and all that kind of stuff. But that's great and everything, but doesn't allow me to get to know you. The dating process is where I get to sit across from you and watch you. That's what I'm doing on my dates. I'm watching you. I'm seeing how you respond to people. Are you a jerk? Are you responsible? Little things that you talk about that just come up in your life. I'm trying to find out that, because that's the only thing that I can find out to know you. You taking me to the grocery store. Everybody, only the absolute worst jerks are in the grocery store acting a fool, but in a restaurant you can cheat, you can gyp the waitress, you can be rude to people at a concert, you can be rude to people in the line. There's all kinds of ways for me to see you in the dating process. I see you in the dating process. Yes, it costs the guy money, but I am looking for a long-term relationship, and I need to be able to analyze that man, and the dating process is what allows me to do it. So in any event, I wasn't getting close to him because he's not taking me out. And what he's doing instead of taking me out is going out with his motorcycle club. And I'm like, well, I know from the past he's never really been serious about a woman. And so I can't expect myself to be any different. He's not taking me out. He's hanging out with the motorcycle club at 50 years old. I don't know how to feel about any of that. So he brought me over something to eat on a Saturday, and then he went on a road trip with his motorcycle group, and he sent me a little text message. How'd you like that? He got me some squash soup, and I loved it, actually. I like that kind of stuff. So I thought that was kind of thoughtful, because he knows I like to eat a lot of vegetables and stuff like that. So he didn't give me chicken noodle soup. He got me a butternut squash soup. It was so good, too. But I didn't respond to the text because I was too busy getting ready to go out for Saturday night for myself. He's out there with his club doing whatever he's doing. I see no reason why I should stay at home, and your girl's got to get my hair done, my makeup done, my nails done, my outfit, all of that. I don't have time to be sending somebody who's enjoying his life with someone else a text. Well, the next thing I know, he sends me a message. And you know what his message is? You didn't return my text. You don't communicate with me. Well, and I didn't, because I just wasn't that hot on him, He never did anything to me that he never wined and dined me. He never took me out. He never spent time with me. He dropped stuff off for me and went out with his motorcycle gang. So he never pushed himself up by creating an intimate relationship with me. So sometimes I return his text. Sometimes I wouldn't. Depending on what I had going on, what was in the message, whatever. Same with phone calls, If you're going out with your motorcycle gang, I'm not feeling compelled to check your message. And if you just want to drop something off for me from the store, that just doesn't excite me. I just have to be real about it. It just doesn't. So I was waiting to see if things were going to be any different, and they weren't. Well, he sent me this text message. You don't return my text in a timely basis, and yada yada. It was a whole paragraph text. I felt like I was getting a message from my girl talking about somebody else, but he was talking about me. And he's like, so I'm sick of this. I asked you whether you liked the soup, and you never even returned the text. I was livid. And I'll tell you why I was livid. I'm like, here you are going out of town. He went to Lancaster, and Lancaster is notorious for loose women. Okay? Sorry if you live in Lancaster. In fact, if you live in Lancaster, you know. Those women in Lancaster, not all of them, but there's a group of women in Lancaster who just, you know, when the groups of motorcycle clubs and stuff come into town, they just lay up and, you know, enjoy the companionship for a short time. And I know about that. He's acting like I don't know. So he's off with his motorcycle gang, chasing women, you know, chasing after strange coochie and whatever else. He didn't come home that night. He didn't come home until the next day. What's up with that? You know? But I'm not tripping because I'm like, he's not my man. He doesn't take me out. He's not doing very much for me. I mean, okay, he is buying me stuff from the grocery store, dropping me stuff from takeout. But girls, I cook. So you don't have to buy me stuff from takeout. I will fix my own food. Not a problem. But, so I'm out there doing my thing too. I'm like, let me go out. Maybe I'll meet somebody who will try to get to know me, try to create an intimate relationship by actually spending time with me instead of spending money on me and dropping stuff off. So when he sent me that message, the first thing I did was, I'm like, you're tripping, right? I sent him a message. I'm like, you're tripping. He didn't respond to that message. I'm like, okay, so he's sending me a text message about not responding to text messages, sending me a whole paragraph message. So it's definitely serious when a guy starts coming across like a girl. Yes, he did come across like a chick, okay, who is in the throes of PMS. Okay, so I don't know what happens to men once they get a certain age. I'm thinking they get really girly. But after he didn't respond for a couple of days, I didn't have anything to miss. He never created a relationship, so I had anything to miss. So I just went on with my life, and my life was just the same without him as it was with him. And here's where it gets funny. A couple of weeks later, he sends me this message like he didn't send me that last message. Hey, stranger, how you doing? I didn't respond to that message because I'm like, now you seeming crazy. You know, before I thought you was tripping. But now, and I thought you was a little girly, but now you going cray on me. Yes, something ain't right up in here, you know. Something's going real strange here, and I'm just going to let all this pass and go on with the Lord. And so, I didn't respond. He sent me a few other messages. I didn't respond. I may have cut the phone service off at some point. Yes, I will get rid of the trash. Whew. And next thing I know, he's on his motorcycle maybe a week later coming through my neighborhood, and he doesn't live in my neighborhood. So he's coming through my neighborhood. He's like, Connie. I'm like, oh, hi, how do you doing? You know? And he's like, let me ask you a question. I'm like, sure, sweetie pie, what you got to ask Con? And he's like, what did I do to you? Just tell me, what did I do to you? I was buying you stuff that you needed. I was bringing you stuff over that you needed. And you just shut down on me. I'm like, excuse me. You dumped me. So the moment you dumped me, it doesn't matter what you did prior to that. You dumped me, which means you're not that into me. If you as a man can send me a message saying, I don't want to see you, I don't want to have anything to do with you, you're frustrating me, this, that, and the other, honey boo, you don't have to tell me twice. And then he trips. He's like, you must have me confused with somebody else. Cray. Do you remember my name? And I called him by his name. He's like, yeah, that's me. And I'm like, here's the message. Because I had no reason to delete it. You know, I needed a reminder. I let too much stuff go by. And he's like, well, you know, In any relationship, you're going to have to go through something. And if you are in a relationship with somebody and you don't go through something, then it's something wrong. And I looked at him and I said, well, you know what? You should have thought about that before you sent that message, because you should have continued going through whatever you were going through with me and worked it out. Because the minute you cut my brown behind loose, she is wiggling down the street to somebody else. Yes, that's where she's going. Hey, men are like buses. There's always another one coming in about 5 minutes during rush hour, and it is always rush hour for the sea monster. It's always rush hour for me. I walk out the door, and there is somebody there trying to holler. Whether I'm interested or not, there is somebody there trying to holler. In my building, there's just 4 of us. There's always some man coming by going, come on down. I just want to chat with you. So I may be broke, I may be busted, but men don't seem to mind too terribly much. Again, I think one of the stressors with this guy was that financially it was all on him. I mean, wasn't much, he did what he wanted to do, but still, he was going to the grocery store, although I didn't ask for that. He was bringing things by, doing this, doing that. But he wasn't spending any time with me. He was dropping something off and bam, he's out to be with his motorcycle gang, chasing other women. So he's developing a relationship with them, but not me. With me, he's just like a sponsor, like some kind of government check that I don't even have a social worker. So I mean, it was just a strangeness. Let me know what you feel. I mean, this is really, really odd. I don't have any animosity again. Oh, I forgot to tell you. He told me the reason why he dumped me is because he was taking medication for headaches, and that headache medication caused him to dump me. I said, okay. I knew he took medication because he had some surgeries and stuff like that. So I said, okay, not a problem. I said, but still, you do understand, I need to find me a man that's not on that medication. Because my feelings and all that kind of thing and my security issues, when you dump me, you have violated my security issues, because I immediately think you don't think that much of me. You're not that interested in me. You don't think I'm precious. You don't think that this is something that I have to walk softly and carry a big stick to maintain. You think I'm just something you can throw away with the trash and then go out there like a homeless person and dig for 5-cent nickel cans. I am not interested in that. So, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. I still am committed to finding the one. I got a few more candidates that I'm interviewing, and as you know, I'm not going to stay. I'm not wasting anybody's time. The minute they show me their jerk face, I'm gone on to the next one. It is what it is. So, let me know if you think I'm horrible. Let me know. I'm really intent on, I'm thinking this year, I've been through enough candidates now in the last year. I'm thinking this year, I should probably, just the odds are becoming more and more in my favor, So, just wanted to share that little fireside chat with you.